So, today I'm going to be doing a new series on the channel of what if the DC Extended Universe, aka probably the wannabe MCU, DC really wanted to make an MCU type universe, but they kind of rushed it a bit. Really wanted their Justice League, so here's how I would do it. Basically, I'm going to be taking Marvel movies and then finding a counterpart and a story that works with them, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. So we're going to start off this series since it's going to be a 3-part series. The first part is going to be phases 1 and 2. Since phase 3 of the MCU is much larger than those two, so I'm just going to rope those two in with it. So let's just get into it with phase 1 and our Iron Man equivalent. So the first movie is our Iron Man equivalent, which will be The Batman. The Batman is going to be a movie it's going to include Batman, and it's going to have Jason Todd as Robin. So the villain will be Hush, and some of the storylines will be that Luke Fox, who is the son of Lucius Fox, doesn't want to be a part of the Bat family, and Lucius Fox wants him to be part of the Bat family. And so basically Luke wants to be on his own, and he doesn't really want to join the Bat family until Hush kills Lucius Fox, which basically makes Luke want to have revenge against him. And in the end, we see Batman defeat Hush. Hush does die, and that's basically our Iron Man equivalent, because I figured Batman kind of works because they're both kind of like the rich people of this universe, so I think that would work. So next, our Incredible Hulk. Now, this is Man of Steel. I don't think Man of Steel works quite that well. I do get that the fact that Hulk and Superman don't really have anything in common, but I put him there just because I want Batman and Superman to be the lead roles. They both are the first 2 movies that we see in this universe. So Man of Steel is of course about Superman. We will see Zod invade Earth, and basically instead of killing him like Man of Steel did, instead of killing him off, Superman is going to send him into the Phantom Zone. Now, when he enters the Phantom Zone, there will be something that gets knocked out of the Phantom Zone, and we will see that. We will see a pod get knocked out, but we won't see who is in the pod. But we'll learn that there is somebody knocked out of the Phantom Zone when he is put in it. So, the post-credits scene in this movie, Superman and Zod in the Battle of Metropolis, they destroy a building with an L on it. So, this movie, in the post-credits scene, we learn is under reconstruction, and we go inside it and we see that it's Lex Luthor's LexCorp, and he is getting kryptonite. So that will set up his future of disliking Superman. So next up is our Iron Man 2 equivalent, which, since the Batman franchise is tied to it, we gotta go for the Batman 2. So the Batman 2 will have a few different inspirations. It will include Arkham. It will have a large chunk of it being Arkham, but the main villain will be Joker. Now, Joker will return to Arkham Asylum and basically let out a bunch of criminals. So Batman and Robin will arrive at Arkham Asylum. We'll see Nightwing in this movie as well. And basically they'll have to battle a bunch of their villains. And Joker captures Jason Todd's Robin. And in the final scene, we see the death in the family where Jason Todd is killed by the Joker, which will set up a new Robin to take his place later on. So now we move on to 2011, which will have our Thor and Captain America, the First Avenger, counterparts. So now we're going to move on to some newer heroes that are much different. So starting off, we have Wonder Woman. Now, Wonder Woman is going to, like the original Wonder Woman that we got, it is going to take place in World War I. However, the Steve Trevor that she meets is not going to be the real Steve Trevor. It is going to be his grandfather or great-grandfather. So, he is going to basically, he's gonna die and sacrifice himself, but it is not going to be the Steve Trevor that continues in the universe. This is not the comic book Steve Trevor. So the villain will be Cersei, because I think she works as a Loki villain, because she's like the DC counterpart to Loki. And she's going to be a escaped Themysciran who is evil and doesn't like the other Themyscirans. She's learned magic, and she basically goes to the real world. So after that, we have The Flash. Now, The Flash will be I will say the Flash franchise will definitely be much bigger than any other franchise, I think. But this movie is probably going to be the least grandiose Flash movie in this franchise, because it's simply going to be a small town origin story type thing of the Flash. So basically, it is going to see him face off against the Rogues, which are a bunch of metahuman villains and stuff, and Firestorm will likely appear. So yeah, that's basically it for this movie. So by the end of this movie, we'll see some hints of some aliens and Lex Luthor. Oh, also in Man of Steel, I forgot to mention, but hang on, let me go back. Man of Steel is going to feature Martian Manhunter. I forgot to mention, it will feature him. Alright, so the final film of Phase 1 is our Avengers film, and it's, of course, Justice League. So, this film is going to, of course, have Lex Luthor as the villain. It's also going to have the Dominators, and it's going to have an alien invasion, but Lex Luthor is like, well, you know what? I can kill Superman, but I could also have these aliens do it. So, he sends the alien Dominators to Earth, and they basically invade Earth. And also, 3 other characters who form the founding members of the Justice League, besides Batman, Superman, Flash, and Wonder Woman, are also Black Canary, Green Arrow, and Martian Manhunter, and they'll get more spotlight in this movie than they have so far. So by the end of it, the Hall of Justice is created, and the Justice League are formed with this 7-member team. So now we move on to Phase 2, which is going to delve a bit more into the multiverse, as that's what our aspect is. So let's get into it. So the first year of Phase 2 is going to feature some sequel movies. So we're going to start off with the Batman 3, which is going to finish off the trilogy. Now, we're not going to really see Tim Drake in Avengers, but he's going to make his debut in this movie with the Batman 3. He's going to be Robin now, since Jason Todd has been dead for a few years, so he's going to be now, at this point, have become Robin. And since this film dealt with the Mandarin and the Ten Rings a bit, not really that much, like, it really didn't deal with them at all, but I felt I didn't really want to have them being delved into some other movie like that, but I'll talk about that once I get to my Shang-Chi idea. So, this movie is going to be Batman battling Ra's al Ghul, and he's going to have a relationship with Talia al Ghul, and then she's going to reveal in the post-credit scene that she is raising a child, which is going to be Damian Wayne. But yeah, in the final battle, we'll see not Oliver Queen, but Bruce Wayne. We're going to see Bruce Wayne and Ra's al Ghul have a duel and battle, and Ra's al Ghul end up dying, and this would end up making Bruce the new leader of the League of Assassins, but he doesn't want that, so he gives it to Talia al Ghul, because she's sort of been like the disgraced child. Ra's al Ghul didn't really want her to be the leader, he wanted Bruce, and so with Bruce being kind as he is in a way, he gives her the chance to become the leader of the League of Assassins. So next we have our Thor The Dark World, which is Wonder Woman Truth and Justice. I don't know if it's a great title, but it is the title that I chose. So this one was going to be heavily magic focused. Unlike Wonder Woman's sequel, it is going to be set in present day. And it's finally going to see Wonder Woman meet, or she's already will have met Steve Trevor, and he will probably appear in Justice League, but the point is, he and her will be in a relationship at this point, and her friend in the present is Barbara Ann Minerva, and she will become Cheetah. And also in this movie, we'll see the debut of Hawkman and Hawkgirl, because it's going to be magic focused, and I wanted to put them somewhere. So this is where they're going to get put. Alright, the next year is going to be very big. It's going to start delving into the cosmos and a bunch of cosmic heroes, so let's get into that. So starting off is Man of Steel Legacy, which is going to see that post-credit scene with that mysterious pod landing to Earth. And that is going to be where Superman finds this pod, and it is revealed that this is Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, and we learn that her pod was actually controlled by Brainiac, and so he and her go to Argo City, and they learn that it's still around, and they learn that it's actually ruled by Brainiac, and that unlike in the comics, I am changing this a bit, where in the comics Cadmus created Superboy, but I'm making it so that instead, in this movie, it's actually retconned to be Brainiac who created Superboy. So basically, Superboy is freed, and Supergirl, and Superman all team up to battle Brainiac. And yeah, he's the villain of this movie. Then next is a new franchise, because I figured we gotta bring these guys in at some point. So Green Lantern Corps. This is going to start off as just like 2 Green Lanterns, the most notable ones being Hal Jordan and John Stewart. So at first they don't like each other, they have a complicated history, but then they both become Green Lanterns, and they end up being forced to work together, and they become a team. And then the villains are going to be the Red Lanterns. And by the end of it, Sinestro is going to leave the Green Lantern Corps and go to start his own Lantern Corps. Alright. So we're nearing the end of it. The last movie in this franchise the last movie in this phase is going to be the next 2 movies. Again, 2 big movies in a way, so we're going to move on to 2015 with the second Justice League movie, which is Justice League vs. the Legion of Doom. In this movie, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and the 2 Green Lanterns will have joined the Justice League, and Red Tornado joins at the end, and they battle the Legion of Doom. Now, Hawkman and Hawkgirl won't have a large role. Sinestro will. He will be a counterpart to the Green Lanterns. And so basically, the Legion of Doom will be the villains, and it'll be a battle now. It is going to be interesting because in this movie, Aquaman still hasn't appeared yet, so Black Manta won't appear yet, even though he's a very well-known member of the Legion of Doom. So, yeah, this film will end with Red Tornado joining the team, and the death will be Hawkman. So, I was debating whether or not having this movie or The Atom as our Ant-Man equivalent, since The Atom would work as an Ant-Man equivalent, but I chose this movie. So, it is actually, since we need The Flash to get his sequel movie, so The Flash into the Multiverse, which is really going to delve into the multiverse. We're going to see The Flash, travel through the multiverse. Firestorm is really going to have a big role in this. So is Caitlin Snow, who will officially become Killer Frost in this movie. And then the last thing is, I chose for this movie, the villain is a more obscure villain. This will be Dr. Alchemy, who will be traveling through the multiverse with Flash. He'll want to take over the multiverse, basically. And so that is the end of phase 2, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time with the second part of this, which will be phase 3.